What do you guys think about doing a Facebook Live right now?
Let's do it.
You're welcome to do it.
Why not?
See, we have a this X factor right here.
So you can always delete it. It's your Facebook Live, so you can always delete it.
Yeah, but there's like 100,000 people that are gonna be.
That's fine, and you can get immediate engagement, and we can actually answer their questions, which is great.
So yeah, let's do it.
I don't mind doing it. I don't care.
Actually, do both of you do it at the same time.
I would say TagAlong. Trends.
Is this live right now? Hey, folks.
It's not live.
No.
So we're letting people ask questions.
Yeah, just whatever, man.
Yeah, like we figured out the class, and we want to hear what your thoughts are.
Hey, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum,
What's going
everyone.
on, folks? Welcome to a TagAlong live episode. TagAlong takeover on Saad's channel. And if you're watching live, you can also check out Ammar Alshukry's channel over here. Hey, around. Hey, folks, what's going on? And do submit your questions. This is going to be fun. Please, we're doing a two-way, and I'm recording here, so whatever you do share is going to be shared in some sort of cut later. So,
All right, let me just tell my audience what's going on.
Yeah,
That was just all noise right now. All right, so I'm launching a new class, inshallah ta'ala, for AlMaghrib. It's called Trends, the Fiqh of Fashion and Clothing.
yes.
So I did a little thing before where people can ask, people can give their suggestions about what they want to see in the seminar. So we're gonna do it live as well. So if you want to suggest some stuff that you want people to, or you want to see in the seminar, just put it in the comments.
Abdullah Amr says, Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum
And
assalam.
we're gonna answer some of these questions right now, or talk about it. Sheikh Ammar is here. Ammar, come over here.
Assalamu alaikum, guys.
This is Sheikh Ammar, one of our new instructors for AlMaghrib. He's launching.
Hey, look at that. All the harshness came out when he came on screen.
A brand new seminar. What is it called?
It's called His Majesty, Unlocking the Names of Allah.
It sounds dope. That's awesome.
I'm very excited about it. And Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, Sheikh Saad, to my page. So we're doing a live broadcast on both pages, and we're launching both of our new classes, inshallah ta'ala, in 2017. And we want to hear your feedback, inshallah. So we're playing around with this right now.
There's like 3-4 cameras going on.
Yeah,
right now?
three,
Yeah,
four
we have
cameras,
4
we're having
cameras
fun.
running around.
This
And a
is-
lot
Plus-
of lights, and it's actually kind of hot in here.
A little bit. It's a little warm.
And this dude's like super loud.
Hey,
Hello from Indonesia.
Hello from Indonesia.
wa
Assalamu alaikum.
alaikum salam.
You know, I've never done
Tara.
this before. I've
You've
never,
never
like,
done this
had an
before at all?
interactive session with my.
So the idea is, Sheikh, let's just jump right into the topic.
Right.
Trends. This is your new class, inshallah, and it's talking about fiqh of fashion. Why are you excited about this? And what do you want to hear from people right now? We're going to keep this short, by the way. This isn't going to be a long session.
Yeah. So I got my first question. Which shampoo do you use for your
Which
beard?
shampoo? He uses Pantene Pro V.
That is, I don't know. That could be right. That could be, I could be wrong. Hello from Morocco.
Salam from New York. New York.
I like this. I like people commenting and stuff.
Yeah, it's called interaction. Welcome to social media.
Welcome to social media.
I feel like we both need to be on the same side.
All right, let's do this.
So there's 2 seminars that we're launching, inshallah, for AlMaghrib. One dealing with the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Mhm.
That's Sheikh Ammar right here. So if you have any questions about that or any feedback, post it on mine as well.
What names do you want to see? Any questions that you have regarding the names of Allah that you'd like to be presented in the seminar or resolved in the seminar? Love to hear from you, inshallah.
So, and my seminar is dealing with clothing and fashion.
Yep.
It's called Trends. We're going to be talking about culture and identity and all that. So excited about that. Is it coming to Winnipeg? Inshallah, one day.
You know what's coming to Winnipeg? Winter is coming to Winnipeg.
So I guess they're having trouble hearing us. Is that what it is?
Can you guys not hear us? Am I loud enough? Sound is really low. What about me? Maybe they're not speaking loud enough.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Rowan Tatai, Assalamu alaikum. Hello from Sudan, SA. Wa alaikum assalam, SA.
Chicago? Yes, inshallah, I'll be coming to Chicago. Hopefully, inshallah ta'ala. Actually,
Excellent.
my first ever AlMaghrib seminar was taught in Chicago.
Chi-Town, represent.
So, yeah.
Excellent, alhamdulillah.
And then someone said you're too loud.
Am I?
And I agree.
Are you sure?
I agree, dude. So loud.
Excellent. So we're really excited about Sheikh Saad's class. We were just discussing with regards to, really talking about fashion as being an extension of a person's personality. And we're not monolithic. And this is going to empower the diversity with regards to us expressing ourselves.
Definitely. So one of the things that I often talk about is how most of us have the need to express ourselves. It's part
Yes.
of who we are. So I actually think that's part of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. But how do we express ourselves through our clothing and fashion in a halal way within the guidelines of Islam?
Beautiful.
That's the seminar, inshallah. So one of the questions that I get a lot is men's haircuts.
Yes.
Right? The issue of qaza' and having shorter hair on the sides and longer hair on the top. Is
Yep.
that halal? And so on and so forth. And so in this seminar, we're going to be discussing it at length. We're going to go into the evidences and see what the scholars of the past have to say about
Great.
it. See when the Prophet talked about qaza', what he actually meant and how do we understand that. And
Very
that's,
good.
I think, a topic that a lot of people want to hear about as well.
Excellent. Excellent. We're gonna talk about braids and cornrows too.
Yeah, why not?
Excellent.
Definitely. It'll
For
come under
those
the
of us
hair
who
section.
can't have that, what about us?
What about you? You're good to go.
Yeah, you got facial hair. So we're gonna talk about facial hair. We're gonna talk about beards. We're gonna talk about what is the requirement when it comes to beards. Like
Sheikh
how
Saad,
long
is
do
salt
they
and
have to
pepper
be?
halal?
Salt and pepper beard.
Yeah.
Why? What do you?
Well, what if somebody has salt and pepper and they want to make it just pepper?
Yeah, that's something we're gonna discuss.
Okay.
Dyeing your hair, dyeing your beards and your hair. Can you have purple hair? I'm up.
That's a great
Can
question.
we have purple hair?
That's a great question.
If
Pier-
we
piercings,
can, piercings, okay.
Can guys get earrings?
What about faux piercings?
And I know people are getting really upset right now. They're like, astaghfirullah.
Can guys have earrings?
Can guys have earrings?
That's a great question too.
We're going to talk about it, inshallah ta'ala.
Why would people get upset over a question?
Does oil in your hair affect wudu when wiping over your head? A good question. And actually related to that is gel in hair.
Yes.
Right?
Jeez,
So if
I
you
never
got
even
like a
thought
lot of
about
gel in your hair, does that affect your wudu? Is your wudu still valid?
Especially that really, really, really coaty gel. That really hard gel.
You know about that got to be hair glue?
No, hair glue.
Yeah, that's where
Wow.
it's at. It's at the hair glue. When you want your hair to like not move,
so you can make Bart Simpson hair?
they literally advertise and they say you can go through like a wind tunnel
Wow.
and your hair will stay in place.
Stay in place.
Yeah. What about blonde hair for guys? Yeah, definitely. Blonde hair, blonde streaks, highlights in your hair. Like I know for like the older generation, a lot of stuff sounds crazy.
To me, it sounds crazy, to be honest.
But
Could
this
you
is
imagine
stuff
Ammar with a
that-
blonde
that
fro?
young people
No.
are dealing with today.
No,
right?
that would be
Yeah.
an interesting fashion statement.
Uh,
Ammar went completely blonde, just bleached his hair and went.
Yeah, someone did that before. His name was Dennis Rodman. It didn't really go very well. So,
Piercings, yes, we're gonna talk about piercings. Hair on fleek. There's your word, man.
and we
Fleek.
were talking earlier about just the vernacular and phrases as part of trends and how some words get used and some words get forgotten over time.
It's used and abused.
Yep, and some words get abused.
So, mash over socks or over shoes. I didn't actually plan on talking about that, but I might consider that because that is kind of related to clothing.
Yes.
Um,
So like fiqh rulings regarding clothing.
yeah, that's actually a very good suggestion. Jazakallah khair. Shortening beard
Are you
is
from-
allowed. How exactly? So that's a very good question, right? How short is too short? What's even like people say like what's the bare minimum of
For a beard.
So good question. Balance between
That's a great question.
Yep.
Balance between what? Luxury and simplicity?
And simplicity.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
a contextual question, though, isn't it?
Balancing between, yes, but that's the point.
Yeah.
That it's a beautiful
Yeah.
question.
excellent stuff.
What is extravagance and what isn't?
When is the talk going to take place? Is it going to be live? It's not going to be live. It's an AlMaghrib seminar. So
This is live.
This
You're gonna-
is
you're-
live.
you're-
Coming to you from Clear Lake, Houston, Texas.
تشبه بالكفار تشبه بالنساء. We're going to discuss these issues.
What does that mean?
What are the
Imitating.
So imitating non-Muslims, imitating women, or women imitating men. What are the parameters of that? How do we understand that?
And it's only getting blurrier.
It's getting blurrier, yeah.
Yep.
But I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to leave
Okay,
this
good.
seminar. Yeah.
Good. Do you have a first location booked yet?
Yes. So first class will be taught in Orlando, January 27th. I
Allahu
believe.
Akbar.
That's the launch of the seminar.
Great.
Inshallah ta'ala.
January 27th,
Looking forward to that.
February 3rd in Charlotte,
February
North
3rd.
Carolina.
Awesome.
We're starting His Majesty, the names of Allah.
So
Unlocking the names.
unlocking the names of Allah. So alhamdulillah, I really appreciate all the feedback. I want y'all to, on my page as well, I want y'all to give some feedback to Sheikh Ammar. He's teaching a class on the
Names of Allah.
Names of
His
Allah.
Majesty.
So what would you like to
This is so
see?
bright.
What would you like to see regarding the names of Allah? So if we could hear some...
If you read Surah An-Nas in first rak'ah, what surah do you read in second rak'ah? That's a great
That's a
question.
good one.
That's a trivia question. That's a trivia
You
question.
read Surah Al-Baqarah, of course.
Bilal is so hyped and he didn't drink any coffee or anything. Nothing.
Imagine if I did.
Why is Bilal holding a camera?
Allahu alam.
We don't know.
Who knows why Bilal does what he does?
We have no idea.
Who knows?
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions with regards to the virtues of the names of Allah, that's a great question, Sister Yumna. The virtues of the names of Allah, it's very, very appropriate and powerful.
So, Ammar, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, when it comes to the names of Allah, a lot of times I think there is a disconnect between us and our lives and the names of Allah. Like, they're sometimes like they're just posters.
Yep.
They're beautiful calligraphy and whatever. But how does a name of Allah affect my life? Me personally. So is that something that you're going to get into?
Absolutely, because one of the things that I realized falling into this topic, and I literally kind of just fell into the topic and I got swallowed by the topic, is we almost see it as being something that's elementary. It's not ilm, right? It's not knowledge. It's a song that you give to little kids to sing and then you move on. It's something literally in elementary school that you memorize and then you absolutely move on. And so we are going to really, really break through that stereotype and reconnect.
Awesome.
And show how the names of Allah really power you through your life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that question right here, can we name someone Rahman? Are you going to deal with that issue of which of Allah's names can we use for ourselves, our kids, and which ones we can't?
Absolutely. Which names we can use and which names that we can't. And definitely talk about Rahman and other names as well. That's the plan. Sometimes the names of Allah on the wall, but we happily sin in the same room. Same with Quran on the wall. Great. They're intended to remind, and we are in need of not treating the names of Allah as just decoration. Same thing with the Quran. The purpose of them is to live and interact. And we're going to talk about the different levels of interaction that a person has with the names of Allah. Figuring it out, what the names of Allah are, memorizing them, understanding them. And then the highest part is, Allah says, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. Call upon Allah by these names. So really having these names as you go through your days, literally unlocking these names when you're going through your days and what you need Allah Azza wa Jal for. Like a certain number of times, is that correct?
So here's, I think that's a very important question. I get this a lot as well, and that is in certain cultures, I'm not going to say which culture, Desi culture, excuse me, the names of Allah are used as a form of protection, right? So people will say, like, if you recite this name of Allah this many times, you'll be protected from such and such. And if you recite this name this many times, are you going to address that issue?
That's great. I wasn't planning on it, but this is the feedback that I'm getting. And so, you guys are helping us develop these courses right now through your feedback. So that's a great question. And I look forward to preparing, inshallah ta'ala, for the seminar.
Wearing jewelry with Allah's names on them. You see,
the Allah chain.
The Allah chain. Right?
The Allah chain. Very good. These are all definitely, inshallah ta'ala, we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about using what is appropriate to use Allah's names as, and inappropriate ways to use Allah's names. So we'll be talking about that, but inshallah ta'ala. Sister Aisha, she says, is it correct to say that if you learn all of the names of Allah, you will enter Jannah? That's a great question, and that's exactly what we're going to discuss, because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, whoever encompasses these names. So we're going to talk about man ahsaha, but then the question is, what does ihsa mean? Does it mean memorizing them? So you memorize the 99 and you're good to go for the rest of your life? You're done.
You entered paradise. Memorize the 99 names.
You can knock it out this weekend. You'll be good to go. But what does it mean? And so the whole key to that hadith depends on this word, ahsaha. And so that's what we're going to be studying together, inshallah ta'ala.
Okay, another question. The Prophet said, Lillahi 99 isma.
Exactly.
Allah has 99 names.
Yes.
Does that mean Allah has only 99 names?
No. It means that Allah has 99 names for this purpose. Right. And so if it's like me saying, for example, I have $100 for this purpose. And so it doesn't mean that I just have $100. It means that you have to figure out what the 99 names are for this purpose as a key to entering into paradise. Right. But it doesn't mean that Allah Azza wa Jal has just 99. In fact, we're going to study that Allah Azza wa Jal has more than 99.
So that's a very common misconception. We hear 99 names of Allah, 99. People think Allah only has 99 names.
Yes.
But as Sheikh Ammar is going to talk about, I think in more detail as well, inshallah, Allah has more than 99 names and the significance of 99 as well.
Yes.
Very
beautiful.
Good. Very good.
I wasn't actually planning the significance of 99, but you're
Sorry, man.
no.
Adding material to
Yeah,
my seminar.
it's great.
But
I
yeah,
want
is
all of
there- is
because
there-
I want as much ideas as possible, and then
Yeah.
preparing the course, you go through a filtering
So I
process.
think that's a good question though. Like, does 99 have a significance? That number even?
Very good.
I don't want to get into that because inshallah you get into that in your seminar,
Great.
and this is not the time. But I think that's a good question as well. Where and how will you stream these videos? We will not. These are AlMaghrib seminars. You gotta
Go
come.
to almaghrib.org to find out when the seminar is
So,
coming to a
Sister
city near you.
Yumna, if you could just comment and say what city that you're in, we'll be able to tell you the closest city that this seminar will be going to. But these are traveling seminars through AlMaghrib Institute.
Yeah.
And so it'll either be coming to your city or be coming to a city near you, inshallah ta'ala. Sister Milla, will we be going over the roots of the names? Absolutely. We're going
Very
to be
important.
discussing the roots
Very
of the
important.
names and all of the different connotations, because a lot of times a name is translated and that translation is just one angle of the
Yeah.
meaning of the name.
Yeah.
And so when you actually go to the root, you'll be able to go through the different layers that exist in the name in Arabic that aren't translated in English.
And one of the crazy things I've found, not only with the names of Allah, with the Quran as a whole, is sometimes we read translations
Yes.
and we don't even understand the trend. Like, there's a word like in English, like beneficent.
Yep.
There are people who read beneficent and they don't even, like, we grow up speaking English. We don't know what that means.
It means nothing. It's
Like
like when they
beneficent.
translate zuhd to ascetic.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that even mean?
Asceticism. Like, so it's like, okay, what does asceticism mean? Like, we
It
don't
means nothing.
we don't even understand the translation.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
what is the seminar called?
His Majesty.
His Majesty. Unlocking
His-
the names of Allah.
His Majesty.
Yep.
You come in near Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Let me remember where Pittsburgh is at.
It's in Pennsylvania.
It's Pennsylvania. I'm just joking.
Steelers? Is it Steelers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you guys know when this seminar is coming to Toronto?
Toronto.
I think 2007 for both of us in Toronto. So
Hopefully
we'll see.
in the summertime.
Inshallah.
Come through to NYC. Inshallah.
I'm actually from NYC, Sayyid. I'm from Queens. So inshallah we'll be coming home for this.
Inshallah ta'ala. How many days will the seminar be? How many? So AlMaghrib seminars are 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and there's a free session on Friday. Free Friday. Anybody can come attend.
Yep. Doncaster in the UK, so my accent immediately became British to accommodate you, sister. But
Brits get really annoyed.
They get
when
annoyed?
Americans try to imitate the British accent.
Or that of Scottish accents.
Yeah.
Madison, Wisconsin. If it's Wisconsin, closest city to that is Chicago, but it'll be coming to Chicago, inshallah. Sister Fatima, we're going to talk about exactly that. What are the names of Allah that you can use to regarding human beings, and what are only restricted to Allah Azza wa Jal?
And the idea, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sheikh Ammar, is not to just go through every name. It's to understand the principle behind which type of Allah's names can we not use for
Exactly.
to name ourselves.
Exactly. And we're actually planning on to be able to give you the tools so that you can make that decision yourself.
Right. And same thing with my seminar, right? I'm not gonna. I mean, I can be like, okay, this type of clothing and this type of clothing and this type of clothing, and we can do a little bit of that, but it's important to understand the principles, the guidelines, so when you come across some clothing, you'll have an idea of, okay, should I be wearing this or not?
Sister Iman is asking, are you Somali? That's a great question. Sheikh, are you?
I might have some Somali.
Here's a fun fact. History fact. My forte. If you go back 300 years, you got about 1,000 ancestors.
Someone said, "Who's that guy in the back?"
We don't know.
If you go back 1,000 years, you've got 1 trillion ancestors with a T, big T. So if you're asking if somebody has a little bit of Somali, I'm sure all of us do.
Great.
Vietnamese. Someone say he's Vietnamese.
Why Allah uses certain names at the end of verses, and this is one of the most beautiful aspects to reflect upon with regards to the Quran. A lot of times we just breeze through, not realizing that there's so much meaning in the names that Allah Azza wa Jal uses. And even when you look at the pairing of the names, which we're going to look at inshallah, is when Allah pairs one name with the other, like Al-Aziz Al-Alim, like Al-Aziz Al-Hakim, that brings meaning to brings a third meaning to the discussion, whatever is being presented. And so that's something beautiful that we'll be talking about inshallah.
And that's a very common. I get that question as well. Like anytime we discuss an ayah, people are like, why did Allah use these specific names at the end of this ayah?
Yes.
And there's a lot of spirituality actually in that
Yes.
in that question itself.
Yes. Will you categorize the names of Allah? Situation, when they should be implemented, invoked would be super helpful. So I looked into categorization and we were just discussing this. There's no categorization that I've come across yet where it perfectly fits. Every scholar who's tried to categorize the names of Allah, they basically had to kind of bend over backwards to make their categorization fit. We're going to actually be doing it in story format. So you're going to be able to follow a person as they go through a fictional, very intense day, so that we see how the names are invoked in a situational format. And I hope that inshallah ta'ala it's going to be one, very creative, and two, very something that will allow for people to connect.
So the question is, when people are done with the seminar, will they have a better idea of when to use Allah's names?
Yes.
And like when you're making dua, like depending on what you're asking for, what you're making dua for,
yes,
which names are better to use.
Yes, it'll be very, very empowering, inshallah. And number one is that it will do for you, inshallah, what it did for me, which was kind of just open up your mind to this topic and realize that this isn't something that you can afford to leave behind for 10 years at a time and then revisit. It's something that we're actually supposed to pay attention to and live through. And the second thing is that we are going to equip everyone, inshallah ta'ala, with the principles like the Sheikh mentioned for them to interact with the names of Allah Azza wa Jal on a regular basis.
Mass ICNA, I will be there.
Which city are you talking about?
Yeah, which city?
Sister
I'm
Yusra.
going to be at the Chicago one. So if that's the question.
Very good.
Yeah.
My man, brother Usman Majid. What's
Wow,
the difference
mashallah.
between this class and the Valley of the Seekers?
Usman Majid is?
Usman is my homie from Toronto.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I was about to say.
Inshallah.
I was about to say.
What is the difference between this class and the Valley of the Seekers? To be fair and to be honest, I have not looked at the Valley of the Seekers at all, and I've never taken that class, and that was part of just my developmental process. I didn't want to be affected in any way by the presentation of Sheikh Riyad, so I can get back to you on that, but it's going to be a completely different presentation, inshallah. That's what I can tell you. And the names of Allah, even if the names of Allah are going to be the same, obviously, I'm sure both of them have Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, and Malik, these popular names like that. I'll tell you the same thing that I would tell anybody who's attending a tafsir class that's been taught by two different instructors, same topic, or a seerah class or anything like that. There's always going to be more layers. And there's going to be more cause of introspection, and it's always going to be worth it every single time.
And obviously, every instructor brings their own perspective to it, their own teaching style.
Yep. Sheikh Saad Arabia says, can you talk about the clothing of Jannah and the issue of the one who is going to receive beautiful clothing on the day of Qiyamah because he gave up wearing luxury and good clothing?
Yes. Yes. This is an issue we're going to discuss. And this actually goes back to the topic of zuhud as well. Zuhud and israf, and that issue of extravagance and asceticism. We know we said asceticism, but minimalism, or what's the translation that I usually use? Because we discussed
not caring about the world.
Not caring. Yeah, that's all correct. What was the indifference to the worldly life? That's one of the.
So the idea of having the world in your hand, not in the heart.
Right, exactly. The not letting the dunya affect you. Right. So if whether you have it or not, and if you don't have it, then you're patient. If you have it, then you're grateful. That's kind of the essence of zuhud. So.
It's not.
Sister Abir asks, will we go only over certain names of Allah and not all of the names? Yeah, we're not going to be able to go over all 99. There's no way that I'd be able to do that in a single weekend unless it was just really surface level, in which case I don't think it would be the best use of time. So we're going to go over some of them, inshallah ta'ala.
But
a significant amount.
But do tune into the episodes that are on the AlMaghrib channel.
Yes.
The 99 names. We will cover all 99 at an elementary level on that.
Inshallah.
So for anybody who's wondering who's the weird guy in the back,
A few people said that. So there's a couple questions here. Number one, can you demystify the issue of isbal? Yeah, we will. We're going to talk about isbal. We're going to talk about the different opinions and the evidences and so on and so forth. So inshallah ta'ala, you will have a clear idea of what is appropriate, what we should do when it comes to isbal.
So there was a question here. Sister Shagufta says, or brother... Sorry.
Sister.
Okay, Sister Shagufta, are you ignoring Canadians on purpose? No, we're not. See?
We love Canadians.
Yeah, it's just really cold up there.
Especially now that we might have to move there.
Exactly. Sister Shagufta, we may need some sponsors actually soon, so Jazakallah khair. Maman Ali Najmuddin, Assalamu alaikum, Hayyak Allah, Ahlan wa sahlan. So is it going to be weekly? No, this is just a Facebook. We're just introducing the Sheikh to Facebook Live. Okay. Sister Muntiha says, are you both teaching this seminar? I'm confused. You keep saying we.
Okay, hold on. Sheikh Ammar is teaching the seminar regarding the names of Allah called His Majesty.
Yes.
I'm teaching a new seminar called Trends, dealing with the fiqh of fashion and clothing. So we're both coming out. We both have new seminars coming out, so we thought we'd do this together. And by the way, for my followers, go check out Sheikh Ammar's Facebook page. How can they get there?
Facebook.com/Ammar Poetry.
Okay.
AMMARPOETRY. And for everyone coming in through my page, Sheikh Saad Tasleem's Facebook page, check it out, which is
Saad Tasleem Official.
Yes.
So Facebook.com/Saad Tasleem Official.
Very good.
And that's it. That's all we have. That's
Glioblastoma. That is the illest name I've ever seen. MashaAllah.
Multiform.
That's amazing. I am just wondering, why isn't the Names of Allah double weekend course? I'm wondering the same thing, but we can't make it a double weekend course.
I can answer that because we do single weekends at the moment.
Exactly.
When is the clothing line coming out? Soon, inshallah. We are very, very close. We're actually about to start pre-orders very, very soon. Saad Tasleem collection, by the way.
Very good. So you're getting a fiqh of fashion course from Sheikh Saad Tasleem / fashion designer Saad Tasleem. It's going to be epic.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
So, what do you think? Wrap it up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So, thank you to everyone who participated. This was really fun for me, alhamdulillah, to engage with everyone.
We finally got him past his comfort zone, so.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Sheikh Ammar, you want to...
Jazakumullah khair, everybody, and thank you for the feedback. You already gave me so many points to reflect on and do research on, so I'm excited. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair, guys.
Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
And guys, for those of you that are tuning in later, that was a recording of a Facebook Live session. Thank you for tuning in. And again, as a review, this was with Ammar Alshukry.
Hey, assalamu alaikum.
Saad Tasleem. And yours truly, Bilal Khan, ending the tag along. See you soon.